had so many weird dreams during that time. I had another one of like my ex-boyfriend, and do you remember me telling you about that?
No, I don't think I do remember you telling me about that. Maybe I will when you tell me. Like, I'll remember it. But
So I'll try and keep this story really short.
no, go for it.
So I had an ex-boyfriend. This was one of the lessons I learned with Tomash, is he, when we were together, you know.
I know. Yeah.
This was 2022. I dated this guy. Obviously, Tomash died on that new year of that year. So me and him broke up in September, was really toxic, and it didn't end very well. And then we'd not spoken. We had not spoken for 2 years. It had been by this point. And obviously, one of the reasons why we broke up is he didn't like my friendship with Tomash, and he gave me an ultimatum, and ultimately I chose Tomash. Thank God, because he killed himself 3 months later.
Yes.
So I learned that lesson, is that nobody should ever make you choose between, you know what I mean? Anyway, so me and him, we always had such a deep connection. I've never had a connection with someone I've dated like this before. I believe he's my twin flame, but yeah, so we ended on really bad terms. Didn't speak for 2 years. Obviously then Tomash passed away, and I was dealing with that, so I just wasn't really, thinking about him. And then after that dream, shortly after, this was during Pisces season as well, and I'm Pisces moon, so I have a feeling this was why all of this stuff was happening. I had a dream about and oh shit.
You're fine. We'll blur it out.
I had a dream about him, and I have never dreamt about him before. And the dream wasn't a good one. And like I say, I think it's important to know how you feel when you wake up.
Yeah.
And I felt like something was really wrong. I did feel like, I just felt off. Now, I've had these feelings before where, when you break up with someone and you have the feeling, maybe a bit of weakness for a certain period where you're like, oh, I want to message them. But I never act on that.
No.
Because normally by the end of the day, it's gone. Unless something's really like pushing their name towards me, I won't act on it. And so my ego was too large at the time. So I did not message him. And I thought that feeling would go away. And for 5 days solid, that feeling did not go away.
I remember this now.
Yeah. So for 5 days solid, that feeling did not go away. And I confided in one of my friends, and she was like, just message him. Because she was like, you won't forgive yourself. And I also believe that if I wasn't meant to speak to him, then something would have got in the way of that. Maybe he'd changed his phone number, something like that. So I had messaged him, and I just said, hey, like, I know this is so random, but I had a dream about you. Wasn't a good one. Are you okay? And he was like, oh my gosh, like, obviously we'd left it on bad terms, hadn't spoke for 2 years. And instantly, before we'd even gotten into the dream, he apologised to me straight away for how we left things. So it was obviously bubbling for him. And he was like, yeah, I'm not really in a good place right now, And then I was like, oh, why? And he just said, oh, I just I'm not seeing much point in anything. So I was like, oh gosh. Now, I didn't tell him about Tomash straight away because I just wasn't ready for that.
No.
And so we were just catching up, and we ended up having like a really long phone call, like hours long phone call conversation, and it was like no time had passed. And then I had suggested like meeting up and catching up. Nothing, within that, but just to catch up, I suppose. And I had kind of wanted to tell him about Tomash in person, rather than, I felt like that wasn't really
it's far too painful, far too
yes,
you can't do that over the phone.
No, exactly. We had agreed to meet up. Got to a couple of days before, he blew me off and was like, oh, I've got a job interview, I can't do that day, can you do this day? I was like, yeah, that's fine. We rearranged again. Got to the day, same thing happened again. Can we rearrange? Then we rearranged to a weekend. Neither of us had spoken about what we were doing that weekend. And he, again, like, date people far as well. He lives an hour away from me. And he lives even further away from Nottingham. And neither of us had spoken about what we were doing. You can see where this is going. We So it was coming up to the weekend, and then he just ghosted me. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I thought, you know, you clearly don't want to see me. That's fine. I'm not going to beg or press. So I just left it. Anyway, me and my friend, we go out that weekend and we go out in Nottingham. Neither of us had told each other what we were doing. Nottingham is also a massive place.
Yeah.
And you could literally be anywhere. So I went into BR1, big up. And I had literally been, it was about 1:30, I would say.
Yeah.
And I had been in there for 5 minutes, if that, to be honest. Just walked in there. My friend and I were just speaking, and I just like turned around to go and move to a different area, and as I turned around, he'd walked out of the bathroom. As I turned, he walked smack bang straight into me.
Haha, there's no avoiding her.
No, exactly.
You can't ghost this girl.
Yeah. The universe was like, you will meet up.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was, oh my gosh, if you saw our faces, was like a picture.
Yeah,
like,
I
mouth
bet.
wide open, what the hell. I won't go into like what happened after that, but it was crazy that we saw each other. He was quite emotional, and then because at first I thought, oh, he's just obviously doesn't want to see me, but then because he obviously didn't deal well with the shock factor of seeing me and got quite emotional, I then was like, okay, it's not me, like he is just, it's overwhelming. And then, but that made me feel better, you know. And yeah, but how strange.
So bizarre.
Yeah, that was over a year ago now that happened. That was like last
Yeah.
February time, January. Yeah, it was like February, March time, I think, last year.
And it's really key, I think, that actually you knew in that moment that you had to speak to him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
It's weird though that it resurfaced. You know, I think that I was always going to bump into him.
yeah,
But because we left it on such bad terms, we needed to sort of smooth it out a little bit. Because I think if I'd have bumped into him and we hadn't have had that conversation, that would have gone very different.
completely different. Imagine just being like, oh, hi, face to face, you know, with your ex randomly after,
Exactly.
with
Especially
everything
after
that's gone.
everything that went on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That would have been
Absolutely.
too intense.
Far too intense.
But weird how I had never dreamt of him before, had the dream,
Yep.
and then I bump into him after 2 years.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the guy, never had a dream about him, nothing.
And I think some of these experiences are so inexplicable.
Exactly. Like that shit doesn't happen in real life.
It doesn't.
That happens in the movies. That
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
It really, really, like, it's unbelievable, some
Yeah.
of the stuff that you can't. And again, it's one of those experiences, like we were saying in the beginning, that unless it's happened to you, you will
don't know.
You're not going to believe it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, someone sits there and says, oh, this happened, and like, it's not that you don't believe your friends or your family or you know, whoever's, it's just you can't imagine what that feels like. It must be like, oh, there's got to be another explanation for it, but unless you've had that experience yourself, like,
But there is no explanation for that.
there's
That's
no
just
explanation. It's like, or either it's like really, really like random coincidence. But I mean, how do you? It's just too. It's too meaningful, I suppose.
100%. Yeah.